ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's show of Youth Empowering the Streets. My name is Josh.
And I'm Rebecca. Tonight's show focuses on the resilience of youth, highlighting the stories of formerly gang-impacted youth and their turnaround for a more positive life.
Joining us today, we have Andres and Eddie, students from Yerba Buena High School, previously gang-impacted.
We have the pleasure of having our very own Youth Voices Initiative co-lead, Rebecca Esparza, representing Fresh Lifelines for Youth, and Joanna Molina, representative from California Community Partners for Youth, and two representatives from the City of San Jose's Mayor Gang Prevention Task Force to speak on city resources.
To speak on their stories of success, we have Andres and Eddie, students at Yerba Buena High School.
Welcome to Yes.
Welcome.
Share with us how gangs in your community impacted your personal life and how that has played out.
Well, I come from like a family that's like they're all involved in gangs and stuff like that, and yeah. Well, when I was growing up, I was in the hood, well, basically kicking it with them, right? I was like watching them, how they throw up their signs, how they talk and all that, you know? And I don't know, since I was growing up, like, I just wanted to be like them, you know? And they taught me everything, you know, like how to survive in the streets and everything, you know? They showed me love, you know? Like, I grew up without my dad, and having them having my back, like, it was like I belong with someone, you know. And since all that started, well, I just like being with them, you know.
And do you know how gangs impacted your learning experience?
Like, for me, like, all through elementary, like, I took everything as a joke. Like, I just wanted to be out, have fun, smoke, fight, throw up my signs. Yeah. I didn't have my dad till I was like 9, so like everything was like a joke. I didn't care about nothing.
And did your parents like have anything that like, did they care about your grades or?
Yeah, but like I didn't care. I was just like, whatever, you know. I'm gonna do me, and that's about it.
To speak on their experiences with some of these organizations, we have our own Rebecca Esparza speaking about Fresh Lifelines for Youth and Joanna Molina for California Community Partners for Youth.
Tell us a little bit about how gangs impacted your life.
Well, for me, like, all my family was involved in gangs, like my grandpa, my uncles, my cousin, like both my parents were both like affiliated, you know? So I was kind of like brought into that lifestyle like without even knowing it until I got older. Then that's like when I kind of made my own decision to continue on with the streets and everything. So like throughout the years, like I didn't have both my parents, like my mom was always in and out of prison, you know? So like that's kind of just where I found like my family like with the gangs, you know? So that's like personally like why I chose to like go with them, because like a lot of youth who were involved in that, like they all were going through the same situations that I was going through at home. So that's kind of what led me to continue on.
And what about you, Joanna?
Well, you know, I grew up in the neighborhood, you know, the east side, and you know, my mom's a single mom. Dad was never around. I was raised by my brother mostly because my mom was always at work. You know, she had to work 2 jobs to support us. And, you know, he started gangbanging, so, you know, I followed in his footsteps. And, you know, with me, it was more like, you know, even though he's the oldest, he was older than me. I basically, like, joined the gangs to take care of him, you know, because that's the only other person I had.
Yeah. Now with us, we have a representative from the City of San Jose's Mayor Gang Prevention Task Force, Mario Maciel.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about the Clean Slate program?
Yeah, Clean Slate is one of many programs that the City of San Jose offers to our youth, and the Clean Slate tattoo removal program started in the early 90s in partnership with Valley Medical Center, because we saw that as kids wanted to change their lives, if you had a tattoo on your hands, wrist, neck, or face, that your enemies or future employers just were judging the book by the cover. And so we knew that we had to do something about taking off those physical barriers so that people could prosper in life.
So what other resources are there around the city?
What other resources are
What
there?
other resources, about how many people use the resources from the city?
Yeah, the Mayor's Gang Task Force funds currently 23 community-based organizations that do a variety of things. Everything from cognitive groups, which are support groups at our middle schools and high schools, to actually street outreach into our gang-impacted areas and running late-night gyms, to family support services, which include domestic violence and teen dating, to the issue of substance abuse. And so we're doing a variety of things out there, and there's 23 funded agencies. The city's releasing about a little over $2 million annually to make sure that these organizations that have to do the tough work have the money to do it.
So hearing Eddie and Andre's story on having no immediate resources to help them, do you know what the city is doing to expand its reach to gang-impacted youth?
Yes, absolutely. Shows such as this, and creating the Youth Voice Initiative to make sure that this issue isn't only being discussed by our mayor and chief and the city council, who last time I checked, none of them are teens anymore. So working with you all and making sure that we're doing youth-to-youth voices, making sure that we pick the right high schools. We have limited resources, so we got to make sure we're at the right schools. Luckily, we are at YB. Both FLY and CCPY are of those 23 agencies that we fund. Those are the type of services we're providing out there in the community via the Mayor's Gang Task Force.
Are there certain restrictions to your guys' resources? Like, do you have to, be on probation to be able to use these resources, or can they be offered to anyone?
We service youth at different levels. We like to talk about 4 different distinctions. Any kid who's in a gang-impacted area, to me, is an at-risk youth. Mm-hmm. And then we have high-risk youth, and that's when they start showing indications at school. Then you got gang-impacted, maybe have done a little bit of time, a quick stint at juvenile hall. And then you've got gang-intentional, those that are living the life, are proud of it, are showing colors, etc. So I guess to answer your question, no, you don't have to be full-blown gangster. And we do have parameters, though. We're looking to service youth between the ages of 6 to 24. Okay. And I don't want anyone to believe that the 6-year-olds are getting hardcore gang intervention. At that age, you're really talking about positive decision-making, anti-bullying. But as you both know, when you get to junior high, the issue gets a little more serious. So the services get a little more serious. And then once you're in high school, we're not ducking the issue. We're having real courageous conversations with each other about the impacts of this lifestyle so that it doesn't take so long to make the positive decision. I'm proud of these young men and women that have come before you to show that the work we're doing isn't in vain, that people are utilizing the services and it's saving lives out there.